starting now. We're starting now.
What it does.
We're starting now.
Hold
on. We're starting. Hold on. We're starting. Hold on.
Every other show I do on Riverside, and it's perfect. And now
you have never once uttered Riverside to me. Why didn't you say, Dave? Can we use Riverside?
Dave, I've said this. You were starting. This is all going on. I've said this to Colleen 5 million times. He always sends me different shit, and it never works. Ever, never.
That's a lie.
He's freezing right now.
I don't know his internet.
Fucking guy. I'm just saying, I can do a show with the same internet. I'm in the same house. Everything's same computer. I do a show with 5 other people on the screen. Nobody freezes ever. It's like we're in the same room. I do one.
How many
with
times
Kirk,
have we used this? How many weeks? How many weeks have we used this platform?
Like 5?
5. How many times was there a problem? There was never a problem.
It sucks every fucking time.
He's freezing right now. I mean, why?
Look at this.
Don't you think if he's freezing like that, your first inclination is to side with that dummy when it could be his internet?
Because he has a monster that never has any technical issues ever. Right? I mean, I don't know. Are there ever technical issues on Foreplay? I don't think so.
But it's like the footage from the moon when they transmitted that back. It's crazy. He's like hopping around. Can you take a giant leap for me, Kirk, real quick?
You know, he dance around like he does after he I don't even how do you fuck this up, Dave?
I did not fuck it up.
He's freezing right now. He's freezing. He looks like a Bond villain.
5 weeks in a row. This is his. Do a speed test. Have you done anything to look into this?
For 4 seconds straight. All right. Let's do this. Anyway. We're in Texas, baby.
All right. We're live. We're already Byron Nelson this week. Good week for us last week. You had Xander almost win. I had 5 of my picks hit. So we had a nice week. A terrible fucking terrible tournament, terrible golf week. The tournament stunk. There was no drama, boring winner. But we move on now. By the way, an atrocious field this week. Byron Nelson is rolling around in his grave. It is brutal.
Scotty's 3-1 to win this week.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
I couldn't believe that when I saw that. So great week, Kirk. I got to, credit to do. Amazing week from you. I pretty much broke even. It depends if you go unit by unit. So not a great week for me, but we didn't lose money. Kirk, you had a fantastic week. 5 fucking hits last week.
Yeah, it was good. And big week over in Europe for me, too. And in the LPG. I'm telling them, I've become this underground golfing gambler guy with these minor, even the Corn Ferry Tour, which, as you announced, congratulations yesterday on your big endeavor coming up here with the Corn Ferry Tour, which sounds like I'm going to have to have a ticket to watch this event, but that's fine. I have no ego. It's not a big deal. It's fine.
Well, you guys call yesterday, and it's like right away I asked one question, and it's just knives come out. I'm incredibly grateful that you're going to give us your time and go all the way out to Chicago. I know you hate traveling. I can't imagine you like Chicago. There's not a lot to like about Chicago. And so I'm very excited to have you part of the coverage. It's like people can't give you a nice compliment without you guys just pulling the knives out and trying to go up my fucking throat yesterday.
How do you feel about Colleen handling the internet aspect of the event? Maybe taking over Barstool TV. Does that seem like a good idea or not?
It's honestly, it reminds me of every time I go back to the New York headquarters, my internet doesn't work when I go to the office.
That is true. In the office,
Right. That's what that reminds me of. It's just,
sense.
I can't handle it right now. I can't tell you how often you're freezing right now. I can't even look at it.
Same with you. Every 30, I can hear you fine, but you constantly freeze. So we're going to battle through it. We're fine. All right. So I have a bunch of picks. I'll start if you don't mind, or you could start.
Please do.
Either way.
Please do.
You mentioned Scott. He was a heavy favorite this week. I'm going to make a pick on a guy who's been hit or miss, but has played well last week. You like him all the time. I'm going to take him for once. Head to head against Scotty, plus 200. Tyrrell Hatton. I'm taking against Scotty this week. Who I think Hatton's going to have. By the way, a big 2 weeks. Stay tuned, dear listener, because I think I might like Mr. Hatton. We just lost him completely. Just completely lost him, Dave. What happened?
Dave? He's on junk internet. He's just on junk internet.
No, my screen just went black.
Your TV.
My screen just went black.
Tell me your screen went off, not the feed. Tell me your screen went off.
But why my screen go off? It's back on now. Why did it go off?
Dave.
I don't know. Maybe it was that time you threw the fucking TV in the studio. Maybe it was that.
You just blamed my internet. Now you're changing it.
Well, you're a dummy. I didn't know that. I didn't know what Kirk was yelling about.
You're blaming me. You're blaming a former TV I threw. It's not that TV.
I didn't think you would remember that.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know why that went off. It's a connection thing. It's an HDMI.
Dave, I see 80-year-old women have Zoom meetings talking about like book clubs in the world. You can't get me and Riggs on a huge golf gambling podcast. People are watching this, and you're like, oh yeah, I don't know, maybe it's a TV through. Yeah, Riggs has got junk internet.
How long was it out? 2 seconds. It was a one thing where the wire crossed up. Is it back on? Is it back on?
Any other thing, Dave?
It has never gone out. This is literally the first time it has ever gone out on you during a recording.
So what? It just happened.
Okay, so now we have to diagnose why it
worst
happened.
Producer excuse of all time.
Why is that a bad excuse? Something has never happened before in the history of us using that TV.
Should we get one of your guys to produce the show going? I'm dead serious.
Yeah,
should we get one of your
guys will handle this. This is
okay. Good.
It's unbelievable.
Good, thank you,
Dave. You said it's my shit internet. So let me ask you a question. How do I?
He did not tell. He did not say what the problem was.
Tell me before I check it what a good internet speed is, so that you can't fudge the numbers once I find out what that number is.
Okay, got it.
Anyway,
what is it?
So
How do I find it?
Go to speedof.me.com. No, speedof.me. That's it. Yeah, sorry. Speedof.me.
Okay,
we'll
and
do
what
a
would be
speed
a
test
good
right
number?
there.
Even that is confusing.
It's not confusing.
What would be a good number?
I would say anything above 7 probably for your upload and download.
Are you doing this as we speak?
I'm doing this as we speak.
This is riveting.
Download speed. Hold on. Download speed 250. Is that good?
That's great.
I'll send you
So you see Kirk fine, right?
You said 7. You said 7 was a good number.
Phenomenal.
Here, Colin.
Child.
That's a phenomenal number.
This is a screenshot.
Send me that. Send me that.
Wow, what an internet. You're doing great.
You fucking donkey.
Hey, I'll trust you.
7.
All right, let's put this on record. Let's put this on record then. All right, I'm done.
There it is. Well, there you go. Anyway, so Hatton this week plus 200. Thank you. Not so much an anti-Scotty pick. I mean, but I mean, if you're giving Hatton, who is I think 17th in the world, played really well last week, 2-1 odds against any other golfer for 72 holes, I'm taking it. On that course, I'm taking Hatton plus 200. I would not be surprised at all if Hatton won this week. By the way, I wouldn't be surprised if Hatton won next week. But I'm taking Hatton plus 200 against Scotty. I think you might like that pick too.
I do. I think you're going to hate my picks this week. I'm not going particularly deep. I'm just not. I got the guys I like this week are bigger names. They're a little bit higher when you scroll down on the favorites part. Obviously, I like Tyrrell Hatton. I love watching him play. I mean, he's a total lunatic out there. He's great. I heard from everybody that I've talked to at his home club, like Nona, where he plays, that he's identical when he plays a fun casual round. He's like helicoptering his fucking clubs into the water and stuff. So I enjoy that. I've got Tyrrell Hatton top 5. I got him plus 275.
Plus 275. I looked at that.
5 this week. I saw him over Scotty, and I really wanted to take that. So I didn't. Obviously, I chose to go with Hatton on the old top 5 plus 275. But I like where your head's at. He's playing great. And the only time I think I've taken him, maybe twice this year, but the first time I took him was Players Championship. I think I had him top 10, and he finished like second or something. So
he contended, yeah, good. Okay, I like that. PGA next week, former champion, quietly rounding in the form a little bit. Plus 200, top 30 for Jimmy Walker this week, who has played quietly very, very well lately. I don't know if you've been paying attention
top
or not.
Top 10 last week or top 15
last week? I think he was 14th last week in an elevated field. He's in the top. He's right now. He would get his card back. I think he's like 98th or something on FedEx. I'll tell you, like I wouldn't be stunned if he played half decent next week. I forgot. So he played with Scotty on Saturday, maybe at Harbortown. Does that sound right? Saturday or Sunday. When they were both hitting driver, he was like, some he was hitting it past Scheffler. I'm not saying that Scheffler's the longest hitter in the world, but he hits it. This guy can still play. Yeah. He's not like one of these guys who's like a reclamation project, like, who's just kind of, he can still hit the ball. He's played well lately, a bunch of top 30s. And I think in this field, plus 200, top 30, Jimmy Walker starting to round into form. I like him this week, top 30, plus 200.
Kirk, I doubt you've ever done this, but if you go look at Jimmy Walker's Instagram account, he just posts photos of outer space. That's like his big thing.
What do you mean?
He's like a big astronomy guy. It used to be. So I didn't know you're gonna love that. He wrote, "This is the VDB 123 from Deep Sky Chili with the RCOS 16-incher," and it's just a picture of outer space. That's what he posts on his Instagram.
Is him here?
He's a little bit better about it now, but he used to exclusively just post about astronomy stuff. So he's kind of a weirdo. But look, Jimmy Walker, he wasn't necessarily on my radar. He did play really well last week. He used to be. I feel like he's one of those guys that was knocking at the door, then got his major, and then kind of fell off a little bit, right?
Yes, yeah. Well, he's had Lyme disease. He's been up. It seems like he's healthy now. He was for maybe 18 months one of the 10 best players in the world. Won that sort of anonymous major. Was a pretty good rider. Made Ryder Cup, Presidents Cup teams. I like when these guys come back, like these older guys, kind of figured out for a while, have like a year or two where they play well. So I'm enjoying this little Jimmy Walker run. You know me, I'm into stuff like this. If he's playing well, like top 30 in this bad field, the way he's played, I think it's a good pick. So go ahead.
All right, I'm going to go to my head-to-head matchups for Thursday. 2-0 on these, I believe, thus far this year.
You are. Yes, you are.
It's nice to get a good head start to the week. If you win a couple of these, you're kind of playing with house money on your other bets that are more the higher payouts. But I've got Matt Kuchar over Aaron Wise in round one. Minus 120, so not the greatest odds, but I think Kuchar, he's playing well. I left on my cutting room floor, I left Matt Kuchar top 10 plus 225.
People like him. It's a good feel for him. It's the first minus pick we've ever made.
It might be. That's why I said you're going to hate my picks this week.
Yeah, I love that pick. I mean, it's a good pick, but yeah. But yeah, listen, if he wins, he wins.
Yeah, win's a win. That's correct. Those are just facts. Matt Kuchar over Aaron Wise, round one, minus 120. And then I'm going to get my other Thursday round matchup out of the way, too. I got Brandon Wu, who's made us some money this year, over Sam Stevens, round one. It's a pick 'em. He's plus 100, so even money. I got Wu over Stevens Thursday, round one.
I have a head-to-head pick as well. My first one, I think, of the year, a Thursday head-to-head pick. Plus 110, Eric Cole over Ben Griffin. I am also taking Cole plus 175 top 30 this week. So I crunch numbers with Eric Cole, who's had a good year. I like this course for him. Good iron player. Plus 110 head-to-head. Ben Griffin, who I like also, but I like him head-to-head on Thursday. And then Cole plus 175 to top 30 in this event.
Okay. All right, I'm going to get into my main guy this week that I'm riding really hard, and that's Adam Scott. Masters winner.
On form.
Again, I know you're going to hate it. He just because he's one of those guys, one of the favorites, but it's a weak field, so whatever. I don't really give a fuck. A win's a win.
Play well last week, yeah. Yep.
He played really well last week. I think he's top 5 or so. I've got him top 10 is plus 335. So I got Adam Scott top 10 this week.
I saw a head-to-head with him where there was plus money. Am I making that up?
Ooh, Scotty maybe?
Am I making that up?
I think it was against Scotty as well.
Was it? Oh, yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, I like that. So you have Scott top 10 plus, what did you say, 335? Okay, I like that. I have a top 10 as well this week. If I had to pick somebody to win the tournament, it would be this player. He's plus 200 for top 10. That's Hideki Matsuyama, who is playing really well right now. Quietly, looks like he has figured stuff out. I think he's going to have a good week this week. Top 10 plus 200, Hideki Matsuyama, who we have, I think, used before maybe once or twice. And he's another guy I have. I am circling him for next week like crazy. So
Ball striker, PGA Championship.
Yes, absolutely. Oak Hill top 10 plus 200.
I love Hideki. There was a phase a couple years ago when he was it a PGA, Kirk, where he was really close and he just didn't quite get it done, the year before he won the Masters, maybe.
I think that's right.
And there was a great article, I can't remember who wrote it, but there was a great article about him after the round in the media because he's got the whole Japanese media obviously swarm him. He's like Tiger over here to them.
Right.
And the article went into detail about how he's very quiet, very humble guy. It took the media years. They didn't even know he was married because he's so kind of quiet and just keeps things to himself. Anyways, great article went on about how he did his media obligations, and then he went behind one of the grandstands after coming up just short at, I think it was a PGA Championship, and he just cried. And one of the reporters kind of called him just being there alone, just like crying because of all the pressure. And then a couple years later, he obviously won the Masters, and he had the whole deal with his caddy bowing to the course. So I'm a big Hideki guy. Anytime you pick
that might have been one of the Brooks years, maybe.
I think it might have been. I think you're. Yeah. Was it maybe St. Louis, or was it? That was the Tiger.
That was the Tiger one. Was he in the mix for that? Yeah. I don't remember. But yeah, I remember he definitely contended one of those, and then he's been close. But he is another guy. He's had some injuries. He kind of was not great for a while. But now, if you look at his last 6 weeks, he's playing about as well as anybody. So
no pause anymore, right? He's kind of mitigated the pause.
Changes, yeah, which is wild. I mean, to do sort of mid-career, but I like him this week. I've never really figured out this tournament in general. Like I've always it's always been a weird one for me. Although Freddie did win, he also should have won in '98, but that's a different conversation for a different podcast. But I've never really gotten next to the Byron Nelson. It's never been one of those ones for me that's really landed.
Yeah. All right. Next.
All you have to say about that?
Is that right?
I made a huge confession right there. I just bared my soul. That's all you can say about that in my Byron Nelson relationship. Fine, go ahead.
You want to talk more about Byron Nelson at this point?
No, it's fine. It's fine. Just make your goddamn pick.
Do you think these tournaments, by the way, the Byron Nelson, the Art Pub, you think these are just going to continue to kind of fall off more and more since the guys are gone? They fell off.
Well, I don't feel like Bay Hill has. You feel like it has?
I just used to have so much juice. Tiger and him always winning on 18, making putts.
Well, I think that's more of it. Is the Tiger's not there? I think that's a bigger part.
Yeah.
Honestly, than Palmer's not. It's like the losing Tiger to that tournament, the Memorial, even Torrey Pines. Like it loses its. Look, Tiger's obviously not going to play these. Like, I don't think Tiger's ever going to play the Memorial or Bay Hill ever again. So I mean, maybe once, like a goodbye or something. But yeah, I think that's fair. I also don't know what these tournaments are going to be. Like those guys are 60, 70 years ago. These guys were playing. Like there's going to be a Tiger tournament. We know that. There's not going to be one for Phil. Like what is there going to be? Like who's next? Like Tom Watson doesn't have one. Like that middle generation. Like Nick Faldo doesn't have one. It's weird. Fred Couples doesn't have. Freddie should. Tiger loves him. He should have one in the Northwest. There isn't one. Like I don't know why that hasn't happened. I know Davis has one, but it's like that generation didn't really get one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just kind of depressing to me. It's like, the Byron Nelson, the first thing people say, the field kind of sucks. You're like, well, I mean,
it's terrible.
Byron Nelson's as iconic as it gets.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, this one, I might need to be talked into this one. I didn't even give this to Conan because, again, I kind of left this one just outside the bubble. But I was thinking Michael Kim top 20 at plus 225.
Okay.
I don't love plus 225. I felt like I'm reaching.
Top 20, I'm telling you. I always said this last week.
I didn't love your reaction.
Oh, no.
Nope.
It's what's more. It's not so much anti-him. It's weird. Like the difference between the top 30 and the top 20 feels way more than 10 spots to me for some. I don't know why. It just feels like finishing 18th versus 28th feels like a mile. I don't know why that is, but it's how I feel.
I think you're right because what we've learned as we've progressed through this very publicly on our 5 p.m. live show is that the dead heat thing fucks us so much that it's like a one-stroke difference.
I know.
It's literally like if you're T19th, that covers all the way up to like the 25th player, and then one stroke less, you're T26, and now you don't even win the top 30 bet because it goes to 33 guys or whatever. So it's like a one-stroke fucking difference that feels like it should be big, and it changes the odds so much. So yeah, it's hard. It's just hard to the top 30s just haven't worked out like I thought they would work out, to be honest with you.
Let me ask you about this one. This is one I was looking at. There's no plus 138 for a hole-in-one this week. Is that no-go for you?
I did see that the yes was brutal. It was like minus 180 or 185 or something.
I'm sure I'm missing something. They must make a shitload somewhere. I did not dig in on that one. That just felt... Do you have a hole-in-one?
No, I do not.
I don't either. I don't fucking have one either. It's annoying.
I'm not a good iron player.
No, but like some people just thin it and like hits a fucking pin. There's like fluky ones. Like I don't. I'm never gonna make one. I'm never gonna make one. I know I'm never gonna make one.
It's like I don't have one. I play golf all the time, and to be honest with you, I'm never even really very close. So it's not
really. You never lipped out or anything.
I have once or twice, but it's not like I'm chomping at the bit. It's this guy's gonna do it. He's knocking at the. He's close. It's just I'm never even really that close.
Oh, here it is. Adam Scott plus 115 over Kuchar. Now, if you're picking Scott to finish the top 10, you didn't pick Kuchar. I assume you're taking Scott over Kuchar. But plus money.
That's what plus money there. What is it?
Plus 115.
Yes, I'm taking that.
You're doing that. I'm in with you on that one because I don't love Kuchar that much this week. I'll go with you on that one.
Okay, good. Then I'm glad I avoided that. I do hope he destroys Aaron Wise in round 1 at minus 120, and then.
Oh right, yes. This is the tournament itself. Yeah. All right. So are you good now? Do you have anything left or no?
I'm adding that to my card, and then the other one that I held off on, as I did put a good amount of money on a winner this week, and I picked Adam Scott to win this week. I picked Adam Scott to win this week.
You picked Adam Scott to win, and then you're pausing over plus money head-to-head against somebody?
The only reason is because
he's picking to win the tournament.
But he's 33-1. There's you got.
I understand.
33-1 versus a little bit of plus money is not the same thing.
Don't you think Hatton plus 200 against anybody is wild? Scotty's a great player, but that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
I mean, he'll probably. I'm sure he'll beat them, but I mean, it seems nuts to me.
Scotty's had a weird year. He wins the players dominantly, a couple wins, but then it feels like other times I'm watching him, he's breaking his putter over his leg because he's so rattled on the putting green. So I feel like
he's pitched more this year than I've seen him ever. I mean, I've watched him for 10 years, but I'm not sure what's going on. I feel even seeing him bitch at Ted Scott and stuff like that. I don't know what's going on there.
Did you see our boys caddying for Nelly this week?
I mean, you could give away my LPGA picks I'm about to make here, which I've been on a quiet roll with lately. I don't know if I'm paying attention.
Professional segue.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I guess you are the leader of the show. He's on Nelly Corda's bag this week. So I thought about this. I pay a lot of attention to Joey, who's never been on the show. Your fucking Frankie's buddies with him. You can't get Joey LaCava on here to bullshit with me for 15 minutes. It's fine. No big deal.
It's a weird spot.
My producer can't book Paul Reiser, so I know I'm not going to get Joe LaCava. I met Joe at the Springsteen show. He's a very nice guy. Do you think it's weird that he's on the bag with somebody else the week before a major when this player's not playing, or no? It's in New Jersey in the majors in New York, so probably not, right? I mean, he'll be there Sunday night. It doesn't matter.
I think it's weird.
So do I. But he's obviously cool with it.
It's a little bit of a girlfriend relationship to a degree, right? Isn't that how it's kind of treated?
Yes. But you'd agree the world would have ended before he did that 8 years ago with Tiger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like 2013 when Tiger won 5 times and ascended back to world number 1 and he won the Players
Joey's like,
Championship.
you're not playing Byron Nelson this week. Do you mind if I loop for Nelly's swing coach is friends with Freddie, which is how they met up, I read. Do you mind if I kind of hang out?
Fucking chance.
I would let him even caddy for Freddie like he did this year. Not even that.
I miss the world where Stevie Williams caddied for Adam Scott and Tiger Woods instantly fired him for it.
Yeah, that's what you're fired. You're fired. But I did not see. By the way, it didn't look like Stevie was on Adam Scott's bag last week. I thought he was back full time.
Oh,
no?
Oh no, I think he's doing
part time.
He's doing more. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Look at this. I'm looking at this screen again. Download speed 262, upload speed 16.95. Those just have to be good numbers. Calling in. Sorry.
I feel like it's. By the way, yeah, I'm probably frozen now, right? Because you were just frozen.
No, very strong numbers. We have some strong numbers ourselves as well. So,
all right, I'm making a switch on my picks originally. By the way, just so you know, Dave, I had Jin Young Ko finishing the top 5 LPGA this week at plus 275. I'm going to move that down to top 10, which is plus 125, and take Nelly Corda top 5 at plus 175 this week. So you have your 2 LPGA picks this week. Nelly Corda is one of them. Joe LaCava's on her bag.
Yeah,
her caddy's wife just gave birth, I believe. So congratulations.
Yeah, I kind of saw that too. Okay, all right. Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. I was looking to get into the LPGA game. I couldn't because Nelly's the favorite. She's number 1 in the world, but she's got Joe LaCava. Wanted to take her, but I like that top 5. I'm going to take that as well. I'm tailing everything on you this week, Kirk. You're hot.
And by the way, I did not love I know people are going to. I did not like the DP numbers. The guys I was looking at this week, it just didn't add up for me. I was looking at Eddie Pepperell a little bit, but it didn't work out. So the LPG, the DP World Tour, the European Tour, Nope. And Corn Ferry Tour, Riggs will be out. Riggs, the whole crew's going to be out there in 2 months?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're 2 months away, basically. Yeah. It's nerve-wracking. It's very exciting. I think we're going to do a great job. The stakes are so much more interesting if you really think about it. I mean, these,
Absolutely.
the week in, week out tour guys, unless it's a major championship or you have a Wyndham Clark situation where he is playing for kind of a life-changing situation, it's one guy playing for $1 million more than the other guy. It's cool. It's a lot of money for them. But at the end of the day, it's not really changing their lives. Whereas this, anybody trying to make the fucking cut on Friday, it's a life-changing thing. If they get a couple more points in the reshuffle, then they have somewhere to play for the next 2 months. If they don't, they're caddying at their local club or they're taking an insurance gig. So if we can highlight that stuff properly, we get Kirk in there in the nitty-gritty. You're in there giving the insights after playing the course. We're going to make sure you play the course a bunch. It's fun. It's fun to think about.
Am I to ask you a personal question for a moment as we wrap this up?
Sure.
Mm-hmm. My father, as you know, I don't know if you know this or not, has expired. My dad deceased many years, 6 years. I saw. Is your dad still alive?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Is there a contentious relationship between you two, or is that why you're not part of this father-son foreplay, or were you?
No, we have a great relationship. We had a Barstool Classic Monday on the West Coast.
Half Moon Bay.
So we were in San Francisco. Gotcha. It's far away from Myrtle Beach, and the logistics of trying to shoot with all of us getting all of our fathers there, it just wasn't working with the dates. Mm-hmm. So we've come to a point where we've got enough, talent, personalities, whatever the fuck you want to call it, within our group that we don't have to all be a part of everything. So we're trying to become better at that. So no, I was not part of that.
You get along well with your father, though. You guys have a good relationship.
I do. I make sure I talk to my father on the phone at least once a week, usually a couple times a week.
That's fantastic. I'm jealous of that. Half Moon Bay, by the way, is one of the great spots in America. Like one of the great spots in America, for sure.
It's beautiful. It's a stunning.
Incredible. Incredible.
My dad's getting back into golf. Actually, he just retired. He was a dentist for like 40 years, and then he's getting back into the game of golf. So I think we're going to play for the first time in years coming up here in a couple months. So I'm excited.
He didn't torture his patients like my childhood dentist did he? He was a good dentist.
Look, I wasn't there for everything. So
you got a comment on this?
But to my knowledge, no, he did not.
He's a wonderful guy.
He was. I would say he was like he would punish my brother and I occasionally for having bad dental hygiene, and he'd be like, yeah, I'll operate and fix that, and then he would go quite light on the help on the drug as kind of a lesson.
You gotta learn. Yeah, that's the way life is. Ain't no problem with that.
Yeah, we learned. So
there you go. All right, so the picks are in. We'll be back next week with a major championship. Our second major. We're going to do better than the first major, I think. I think the PGA is more of our speed.
We're heating up.
Foreplay is a huge part of. So, I mean, obviously you got to step up for the PGA Championship. So, which you'll be at, right?
I'm going to be doing our show live 5 p.m. on Wednesday from Oak Hill, PGA Championship.
Maybe I'll be there, too. Maybe I'll swing by. Who's to say?
You should come. We'll get you a credential.
Wow, you're too good to me. You really are. All right, Colin, great job. Wouldn't you say, Riggs? I mean,
really
fantastic.
Good, yeah. I'm glad I could hear you and just speak to a frozen Kirk Minihane the whole fucking time. That was
great. Going back in time to fucking 2000 when the internet first started.
He blamed my internet and then he blamed an old TV that you broke.
It doesn't exist. It'd be like blaming.
That was a fib. My mom would say that's a fib. Just trying to sneak one in there.
Who, you?
Yeah.
You're like blaming John Wilkes Booth for the TV not working.
I do find it a little suspect. Riggs was pretty flawless after that whole argument, it seemed. So he didn't.
That's not true. He froze like 3 times after that.
What do you think I'm some internet ninja? I fixed my internet mid-show.
All right, so let's do it. Let's put it on record. Put it on record. We'll go to your platform next week, Riggs. Put it on record. Okay, I'm in. That's fine.
There's the picks.
I mean, I don't think Mincy doesn't have that account anymore, does he?
Not to my knowledge. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't believe that's the case. No, I don't think he does.
We should be good.
All right, we'll be there. We'll talk to you next week. Goodbye.
All right, see you later.